What's up, everybody? I'm Damon Hatfield. I'm joined by Justin Davis
Hello.
and Brian Altano. Today, we're taking a look at some particularly radical examples of 80s video game box art. It was a different time.
It was a great
Yeah.
The
time.
box art in the 80s is very special.
It was a weird time.
Yeah,
The 80s were just a weird decade generally.
it was a radical time.
You could kind of get away with anything back there. Like basically, there was like a few principles. You needed if you had a brick wall, some spray paint, some triangles and circles and squares and squiggly lines and maybe a shoe.
Squiggly lines, random
Yeah.
shapes.
You were halfway there.
A
You
big
were-
important thing.
You were there.
Let's start with Bad Cat, which was, I did not play this game.
Nope.
But
Nobody
it was
played this
an 80s computer game. Came out for Amiga and Atari ST. We actually looked at some gameplay. It is like fever-inducing how crazy this game is and how crazy the music is, right?
Yes.
But look at this box art.
Where do you start? Where do you start?
I mean, Brian's exactly right that if you were making box art in the 80s and you had someone leaning against a brick wall with some graffiti in a trash alley, your job was 90% done.
Yeah, you basically just
Yeah.
had to slap some logos on it. I like this because if you cut off the whole bottom half where it says Rainbow Arts and Go, it's basically like a really grimy punk rock album cover. But the second you add those things, you're like, I think it's a kid's game. And I don't understand what this trash cat is basically. He's eating a candy bar.
Yeah.
And is he having spherical visions of
Yeah.
what he can do?
What's bad about him? He looks nice enough, right?
Well, his mouth is.
don't
I don't know if he's hissing or if he's smiling.
You think he looks nice enough? He's got the jean jacket on, the jean vest, I guess I should say.
So you're just
no pants though.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why he's running
Is that
around
a
with no
watch?
pants on. No, I
Oh,
think
it's
that's like a
wristband.
a studded
Yeah.
band.
Yeah, and I do like
leather
that
bracelet.
his spray paint can says black spray,
Did black spray.
but the
it's
name's in yellow. So what's happening here? Like I don't get it. He looks like a junkie. He really does.
Oh man,
If this is what Damon thinks a nice cat looks like, I want to know what you
He's
think a bad
smiling.
cat looks
Yeah.
like.
he's smiling and eating a candy bar.
I think he's hissing.
Yeah.
I think he's got rabies and he's like.
Okay. This is a game called Barbarian. And-
the boob cutter.
I
Yeah.
can tell you that I didn't play this game either. Came out for Commodore 64, but 10-year-old Damon would have been very interested in checking this game out.
Yeah, me too.
What do you think? So this is probably 30 years ago, ish. So that means
yeah.
these two people are around somewhere. Like they exist.
Yeah.
They're alive,
Yeah, what was the story behind this photo shoot?
right? Did they know? Does he have a snake wrapped around his leg? Oh no, that's just his boot. His big
Yeah,
giant furry
fur
boot.
boot.
It's just his weird loins.
Tal Blevins actually had this game. He was telling me about it. It's like Karate Champ. It's like a one-on-one
Oh, interesting.
barbarian game, and you fight in front of this like wizard, and then the girl's like chained up there. I think if you win, you get to like hang out with the
I
girl.
never really understood
Hang out.
the barbarian attire because it's sort of like I'm gonna protect my feet and my forehead and my junk,
But
but everything else totally exposed. And for her, it's not even. I mean, it's inexcusable.
No.
She was at a beach before the.
well, yeah. To be fair, I don't
became
think
a barbarian.
I don't think she's the barbarian. I
She's
think
a bar-
she's the barbarian groupie.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
This is what you had to do. Like if you look at box art today, like Uncharted or whatever, like it's pretty representative of what the game is. But if you were to look at what this actual video game looks like, they got to run as far away from that as they can.
Yeah.
And that's why you had to do stuff like this.
I don't know. Look at what they did.
Yeah, that's true. But this is interesting because the reason I like Barbarian is because this woman woke up one morning and she went to a place where she actually got her hair done.
Get out of here.
Like she got a perm.
She had her hair did for this photo shoot.
And then she sat in a trash cave.
What a coincidence that these two people have hair, a 1980s hair in their fantasy world.
Yeah.
I know.
I love it. I love this little like. What's this logo here? It's just like a fantasy castle logo.
It's like fake
for the
ass Walt
company.
Disney.
Yeah, fake Walt Disney.
It's great. I love that.
Yeah.
This blown up on a shirt would be really cool.
Bolt-
Actually,
Bolt
a lot of
Frisbee.
these would make really good
Yes.
T-shirts.
Walt Disney.
Oh, this one's
is
my
so
favorite.
Crazy. How crazy is this?
I can't say enough good things
I don't
about
know
this.
where to start. Maybe we'll start with this guy's
Yeah.
face.
Yeah.
I love
Look
his
at the face
so
he's
much.
making.
I know. And the other guy's like actually kind of happy. He's like,
Yeah, he's like biting his bottom lip. Oh,
This
he's
guy's
so
just
into
like,
it.
oh.
But again, very, very weird attire decisions. Like the dude on the right, he got gloves and a vest. Dude on
Yeah.
the left was like, I don't need
He's,
that.
he's rolling barbarian style.
Yeah, I'm going in without that.
They're shooting their guns wildly at everything except for the monstrous, like,
Yeah.
hideous things coming at them.
How
from
scary is this guy?
that dude is really terrifying.
The
That's
Satan
like
goat?
Satan incarnate.
Yeah.
The
like-
Satan goat's legit.
Like that'll haunt my dreams.
I know that looks like something from True Detective or something
And
like that.
But there's like a castle in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
They're like going to shoot up this castle. This is like a Battlestar Galactica Cylon
Totally.
robot, and this is like a Yeti.
I was
Bigfoot thing.
thinking he kind of looks like a space swamp thing.
Yeah. Robot
I
swamping.
do love the chimpanzee, but my favorite thing about this actually is the font at the top. Somebody made that logo, and then an art director came in and was like, "I like it, but can you add some cracks?"
Yeah. It's got to be like Earthquake. Do you think that the game Crackdown on the Xbox
Was
really
inspired by
this?
this.
Yeah.
I wish it were.
Yeah, I want a next gen version of this.
This is the Sega joint.
Man, things were just weird in the 80s. This is like, look at this. This
Yep.
was life.
US Gold. What
I would
happened to
argue
them?
things were better in the 80s.
Yep.
This is so good.
This is pretty 80s.
This is pretty 80s.
This is, I guess we haven't brought up that the reason we did an article that was craziest 80s box art, and we needed submissions from people, and we had to make sure we got at least one that had leg warmers in it. So this filled our leg warmers quotient.
Well, I don't know. Like this doesn't give you really any indication of what the game is like, what the game looks like. I guess that's what we were talking about,
I was
right?
saying before is they have to intentionally not do that because no one would buy the game.
Yeah, they also didn't even pretend to acknowledge the word diversity on this box art. They didn't even. They were like, forget. Don't even bother. Don't call anyone but the white people.
This game's for white people only.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't even bother.
This is, long before Wii Fit, Nintendo
Yeah.
was doing
know.
fitness gaming.
I know.
Did you guys have a power pad?
Oh yeah.
No, I didn't have one.
I
You
did.
had one?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
had
me
one.
too.
What'd you do with it?
I played track and field on it,
Yeah.
and that's it. I didn't do
Yep.
this.
No.
But a funny story about my power pad. I actually, when I moved to college, I was like, I'm gonna dig this thing up, and I'm gonna bring it. And I moved to New York City, and I brought my power pad with me, much to the chagrin of all the neighbors
my
beneath
God.
us, because me and my friends would get drunk and play with it.
We did the exact same thing in high school, except for getting drunk, 'cause that's obviously illegal. But
Mm-hmm.
we would have fun, and but the power pad is meant for like little kids.
Yeah.
And so like trying to do 2-player track and field, you don't even remotely fit on it.
Yeah.
And so you end up like shoving your friend out of the way, and like
Yep.
yeah. Whoa.
So, what I like about this is that I've always loved the Friday the 13th movies, but like they added all these like
Yeah.
bright neon colors to it.
Let's take this movie that's moody and grim and
Yeah,
atmospheric.
Look
and
at all
like,
these colors they added to them.
and like let's take a photo of Jason being
It's like a
very
really
menacing.
low res photo of Jason. Like this was on the box art.
This is insane. They probably had like nothing to work with back then. They're like, oh man.
At this point, there were like 7 movies of stuff they could
Oh,
have
yeah,
worked
that's
with, right?
right.
Like,
It's really easy to make fun of them for this, but there was like no internet, man. And like these are not the same people that made the movie. So like you're
Well,
right.
yeah.
What did they have to work with?
Yeah,
like,
they had-
like we found a picture of Jason in the newspaper,
Which like some
Scan
guy
that
cut out with his own hand.
with
Yeah.
scissors.
And then somebody else was like, hey, I was working on the Saved by the Bell theme song, and I had some extra stuff left over. Can we just shove it in the background?
It is true, like things change so quickly. Like this was the box for the game on store shelves, presumably millions of stores around the world, and like we would not run this in an IGN article today.
No,
We'd be
no.
like, no, go, like,
Yeah.
no.
Well,
what are you
yeah.
doing?
What's
Start
awesome
over.
about this, too, is that the word at the top that Justin noticed the other day is interactive.
Yeah, that was
They used to
the-
do this in the 80s all the time. They would just basically take words, mash them together, and make crap up.
oh yeah, it's nothing like today with stuff like Twitter
Yeah.
and Tumblr.
Trans.
Well, those are nonsense words. This is like entertainment interactive. Let's mash them together.
Xbox.
I like how this is part of the Power Play series. What's that series? What does that even mean?
I don't know.
I like the Power Play games.
Yeah.
It's part of their series of putting monsters in front of rainbows.
And like, what's happening? Like the black outline is like cutting through the W and the E. Why?
Yeah.
Why is it there?
It's crazy to think that this was made on like somebody's desk with pieces of paper.
That's what I mean. Like someone had to use a drafting table to
Yeah.
make this box.
Why is number 5,162 on here?
Because that's like its cart number or whatever.
Remember LJN?
Yeah, I do.
Toys limited.
The mark of death.
Very, very limited. So this is like the same barbarian pose.
I know.
I like
know.
that they actually legitimately got Fabio.
Well,
This-
this is
this dude
before he
has-
was Fabio, though, right?
Is that true?
I think so. I think this is before his whole
This
thing.
dude has a little bit more armor than the last guy,
Well,
but
yeah.
not a lot.
He's got this big.
He's also
this
he's
cummerbund
WWF
here.
champ.
Was he?
No, I'm just looking. That's what.
Oh,
it
yeah,
looks
he's
like
got a
he's
belt.
wearing.
He's got a belt.
He's got this big gold belt, yeah.
Yeah, this is crazy because I mean this could easily be confused with a romance novel. I
Yeah.
mean,
I wanted to pull it up here for an example, but I think it's going to show up at the end. the box art for the original Wizards and Warriors is really cool.
I know.
And I don't know why they messed it up for the sequel.
Yeah, well, that's not all they messed up for the sequel because
Well.
the game wasn't as good either.
Yeah.
The original Wizard
is
and
that.
Warriors is great. This was I think Rare made the first one.
Oh,
So
really?
it's weird that this Acclaim was
think you're
another
right,
like
actually.
Acclaim. We saw them in the corner of every box art for like 15 years, and then one day they just disappeared. They did Turok.
On N64?
Yeah.
Wow.
And
And
they.
BMXXX.
Oh God. Wow.
Metro Cross. So there's so much to love
Oh man.
about this one. First of all, I love that this guy's like sick.
Is that what he's like?
Yeah, basically. I think it's so weird because it's like skateboarding was cool, but this guy's outfit is the opposite of that.
What do you
Like,
think? So, Damon, you looked up a screenshot of this game, and you think like it's not communicated on this cover at all. Like,
Yeah.
You think they were trying to make him?
It's like an endless runner, and
Yeah.
you're on a skateboard. You're a little blue guy on a skateboard, and you just have to dodge obstacles. So they dressed him in blue to, I think, to make him look like the character in the
That's
game.
like as far as the
Oh.
conversation went. They're like, "Look, dude, we have an hour
he's
to
a blue
make
guy.
this box art. He's blue in the game, so fine." They're like, "But this outfit's ridiculous. Put it on."
the craziest thing is back then this is how we bought games. We walked into stores and we saw this.
Yeah.
That was
and we
it.
said, sure.
You got this,
Sign
and
me
you
up.
got one screenshot that was like literally like 50 pixels wide.
Yep. And for some people, like they got this game and that was the only game they had for like 6 months.
I like how you guys pointed out. This makes it look like it's a skateboarding chess game,
Right. Mhm.
Right? Like, what is that background?
It's more geometric shapes, man.
Yeah.
That's how you know you're in the 80s.
Yeah.
But they do hide the little runner guy in the corner. And again, there's US Gold. We've seen their logo a few times now. It is different every time. Like there's no style guide for the US Gold logo. It's completely insane.
Do you think they were on?
Oh, jeez.
Pop back there for a sec. That guy, that little guy in the top right. Do you
Yeah.
think they were like that? The box is almost done.
Yeah.
The guys, we just need one.
Put a
Well, it's
silhouette
like-
of a man.
I don't get it. It's you ride a skateboard in the game, so what's this guy doing?
I don't know.
He looks like he's in track and field.
I don't
Yeah.
have any answers for you.
There he is.
Yes.
This one's a classic.
Oh, this is the best. This is the best one.
God.
I want to know. So again, I want to know the story about this photo shoot.
Mm-hmm.
Who's this guy?
That's what I was saying. Is it's obviously just like a dude in their office.
I know.
It's their accountant, and they're like, "Man, look, you're the only Asian dude that works here because it's the '80s."
Yep.
And so
They're
you
like,
gotta put this outfit on.
Go
I'm
down to the
sorry.
costume shop and get a ninja outfit. On the way home, go to the sporting goods store and get some golf tees.
I love that he has the golf tees tucked into his like
I know.
bandolero.
That's pretty smart, actually. It's
Over
pretty
here.
smart.
Yeah, put the golf balls here.
bandolier.
But what I love about this is that like this is not what ninjas do. Like ninjas don't stand in one spot slowly for hours. They keep it moving. Like he would be in the tree, he'd be behind the hill. You would never see this guy. But like a ninja doesn't slowly knock a ball into a hole over the course of an afternoon.
Yeah, Ninja
Whoa,
does
whoa,
the
whoa.
opposite of that.
Don't they need to relax just like the rest of us?
Sure, but that
Unwind.
but they have to do so in secrecy.
They hide in a tree.
You have to read a book on a roof or something where
Yeah.
no one can see you.
I also want to point out that this is the box that was put on store shelves, and it has new on it. Like what? Like it's old? Like why? Why does
Ooh.
the new product that's on store shelves say new on it?
Somebody's walking to the register, they're like, I've
Is
got
this-
Ninja Golf. Oh, wait a minute. Is this new?
What if someone's buying a used copy of Ninja Golf?
You couldn't even do that back then.
Yeah, I don't think that was the thing.
I don't even think that existed
To be fair to the Ninja golfer, it is night. He's golfing at nighttime.
in the middle of the
Jumping all
field.
around here. Yeah, it is.
He's not hiding.
No.
And it's like dusk.
We keep the ninja thing going with Ninja Scooter Simulator.
I don't even know what that's trying to sell me.
It's an accurate simulation of ninjas riding scooters.
complete with
Skulls.
floating skulls and then spikes.
Like blurry skulls.
And is
for
this
no
is this
reason.
ninja like 4 years old? Because look how giant the scooter is. Are the proportions way off or what?
I think
He can barely reach the handlebars.
I think this is my favorite, just because just some of the other ones we've seen, the concepts are ridiculous, but the art is at least like proportionally correct.
Right.
This is just absurd. Like the way the foreshortening on his arms make
Yeah.
no sense. He would have, if this man existed in real life, his arms would be 7 inches long,
Right?
Right, and his hands would be gigantic.
and those wheels would be the size of cars.
Right.
There's these big spikes sticking on the front of it. There's these skulls just floating around him.
And you could like you could excuse it if this were like obviously like okay, like we took a photo of this kid and then we drew this scooter and composited them together. But this is like one composition.
It's really weird. You see box arts like this, and then you kind of understand why there was a video game crash. Like someone had to come in and be like, wait, you've been working on what for the last 6 months?
Yeah.
Ninja Scooter Simulator? Well, what does that even mean? Get the hell out.
Also want to point out this game cost £2, which
Wow.
is like $4.
That's really cheap.
That's
right?
really cheap.
I mean, this,
Even for back then.
Yeah.
what I do, look, this would be an iOS game now with the same exact price.
It would be free and no one would play it.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Last thing, I
Well,
love
maybe
that.
they would. It could be like Flappy Bird and
Sure.
blow up.
I love that German death metal Silverbird logo in the corner, too. It's covered in like razors or something.
Yeah, it is a razor.
Beautiful.
This one's pretty good. This is a text adventure.
Oh, you got a little bit different version of the box art than we had yesterday. The quote at the top's different.
But even your expert technical training won't save you now. Oh, okay.
Well, I like how he's, you start out like mopping the deck of the spaceship, and then you get pulled into this big.
It's
Yeah.
like it's so weird
Battle.
because if you put a gun in his hand, like this would be awesome. But you make him a janitor, and you're like, wait a minute, what am I supposed to do in this game?
Yeah, does he clean up space poop?
Yeah, it's all the space poop.
And you also, so he's wearing a helmet, like, so he can breathe. But his arms are exposed. He's just wearing, like, a normal workman's outfit.
I guess he assumes that nothing will get on his hands, but it could get in his eyes.
Like, in this picture, if he's in space, he's dying.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. The helmet's not enough. You have to cover the rest of you.
I think the helmet is to help you put yourself in the hero's place.
I'm still just saying, it doesn't look like he's indoors.
What I like about this is that if this is actually happening in space, then all of this is happening extremely slowly.
Yeah.
Like that water is just like
Well, there's no gravity.
exactly.
Also, because of the color scheme, doesn't this look like a Time magazine cover?
Yeah,
with the red
it does.
border.
Yeah, it does. I haven't played. I mean, Infocom's text adventures are obviously awesome and weird and quirky. So it's like, maybe the game itself is super cool, but
Sure.
I don't know about this box art.
I think this would be a good T-shirt. But this might be my favorite one.
God damn.
There's so much awesome happening here.
Yeah, this is the best one. This is the best one. by
Saboteur
far.
2. And we should point out the original Saboteur's box art is awesome as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you look it up? When we were making fun of this yesterday, I looked up the original Saboteur box art, and it's got a guy drop kicking a guy in the face and firing an Uzi
In the opposite direction.
In the opposite direction,
It's great.
And he's
So
not,
awesome.
he's like
So
blind.
my big question about this is that as a species, as a society, why did we allow this to stop?
I know.
Like when did we go, you know what?
This is why I said
no more explosions and panthers and ninjas. We're gonna move on to something
motorcycle
similar.
release and
Yeah.
katanas.
Yeah,
This is
we're gonna
why,
get rid of that.
I feel bad for people that missed it. This is how awesome the 80s were.
So good.
So, you're both a little bit older than me. I did experience much of the '80s, but I gotta ask you guys, what was the deal with ninjas?
They were the thing. I used to buy
Yeah.
like martial arts magazines.
Me too.
And just look at the weapons and stuff.
Me too.
I would look at all the different throwing stars.
I did the same thing, and it made no sense to me. Like I
two
learned all
white
this.
guys.
Yeah.
I learned all this nonsense. Like back then, Ninja Gaiden came out for NES, and Nintendo Power put out a version. They used to put out players' guides every other month until they went monthly. And they put out one for Ninja Gaiden, and there was 20 pages in the middle that were not about the game at all, but were just cool ninja facts. And you're like, you could tell the time of day by looking at a cat's eyes. And I learned that, like, depending on how narrow their eye is, you can tell what time it is. And it was like sometimes a ninja doesn't know what time. Like, why wouldn't a ninja have a watch? Like, we were obsessed with ninjas back then.
Was there like a genuine fear that there's like ninjas infiltrating? The
No,
United
we thought they were
States?
awesome.
No, we thought
like,
they were
they're
awesome,
in your
yeah.
mall and shit.
they were mostly on our
I
side.
mean, it's like think about like zombies today.
Yeah.
Right. We just
It's-
thought they were awesome.
or like what vampires were for
Yeah.
the last 10
It
years.
was
like,
just a fad.
yeah.
This ninja rides a motorcycle and battles Black Panthers.
Oh, it's so awesome.
I like how you pointed out that the Black Panthers appear to be hunting as a group,
They're-
Yeah.
like velociraptors.
They're hunting as a pack.
Yeah,
Do you think this is a metaphor? Does he fight real Black Panthers?
like
Like the political activist group?
Yeah, I think that's what the game's about.
I wonder what's exploding behind him.
Just probably. I think you said another Black Panther.
Yeah.
right?
Key Punch Software is an awesome,
Yeah, that actually is
an
a
awesome
good logo.
company name.
This might be my favorite one.
Oh,
This was a thing in the 80s. These big sunglasses here. Like, look how ugly this guy is.
I know.
Why did they put this ugly guy in the box?
Well, nowadays, if you saw this guy, you'd be like, you're probably heading to like a college football
Yeah.
game, or you're gonna go buy like a bucket chair from Walmart. Like this
Yeah.
is just like a fat drunk with
He's like-
with
Yeah,
whatever those glasses
He's
are.
going home to watch Duck Dynasty and
Yeah,
have-
totally.
pop open a
A
Coors,
Coors Light, yeah, get a 6-pack. But back in the 80s, you're like, wow, that's the coolest dad I've ever seen.
he's so rad.
Oh, wow. Okay. What?
Skateboarding for the Atari 2600.
Wow. This is a national treasure.
Yeah.
There's these weird trends that you pick up on, like painting clothes on people. We're gonna get to that. It might be the next one right after this.
Wait, who? It's like, is that a truck that only delivers one-way signs?
The truck only goes one way.
What does that mean? Why does a truck say one
I
way?
don't know, right?
What is that truck carrying?
The truck. And then
Yes.
another skateboarding one. I loved this game on the NES.
Yeah.
This is the most 80s out of all the 80s
Think
box
so?
arts that we've seen so
Yeah,
far. There's so much.
I actually really like this art, aside from his clothes.
It gets all of it. It
His
gets
clothes are painted on him, right?
Yeah.
He's not really wearing these.
Yeah.
No, they painted a shirt and pants on him, just like the other skate game.
But this is how like good art direction should go. Like you get a cool fisheye lens photo of a skateboarder doing the middle of a trick, and then you paint over it and do cool stuff. I mean, they dropped the ball with the
Shapes,
pizza and the
skull,
the tree,
fire hydrant.
The fire hydrant doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah. Why is this here?
There was this. A lot of people ripped off Keith Haring in the '80s, who was an artist that did stuff like this, and he did it contextually, sort of. But here to just like take his ideas and just throw them.
They
on
just
the
like
box art.
totally missed the point. They're
They're
like,
like-
shapes are big.
Yeah, it's the baby and the It doesn't make any sense.
So hey, tab back over to the other one, Damon. I just now picked up on this. This is Activision, and then go back. This one's EA. And so, do you think they were like, "Oh, you got to paint his clothes on him because that's what Activision did"?
yeah, this was a war back then.
Well, yeah.
Well, I mean, it still is.
I actually genuinely like this one, and the logo is awesome. Like the logo, I would rock that on a shirt now, even though I've never skated.
Even his skateboard is painted. That's not his real skateboard. It's like Gravity, where the only thing that's real in all those scenes is Sandra Bullock's face,
Yeah.
and everything else is CG. The only thing that's real is his inner thigh.
Yeah, there's a
and
lot
his
of
head.
thigh that we're getting to see in here.
Yeah, an uncomfortable amount.
I loved this game.
Yeah. What?
What the? Skateboard joust.
But it's not Joust.
Oh,
You're
yeah,
running
so-
down a bat monkey.
Nothing like joust is happening. He's not actually riding his skateboard. He's just kind of like
No.
launching it at this
Yeah, like
bat
what
monkey.
is he on? Is he on like the trail of the skateboard, or is he jumping off it?
The skateboard says death.
Yeah.
This
This
is another hot Silverbird.
Yeah.
joint. Those dudes knew
Yeah.
what was up. I think they just had a guy with a sketchbook and a case of hard alcohol, and he would just sit there and figure this stuff out.
Well, they started with like they would literally come up with the name of the game and then work backwards from there. That
Yeah.
no one would have an idea for a game or some game mechanic or
I mean,
like.
if you look at the App Store today, it's the same thing, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, guys, Ninja Farmer. Let's
Yeah.
make Ninja Farmer.
Sure, here's some words.
Yeah.
Skateboard Joust is so good because when I picture Skateboard Joust, it's sort of like Ninja Golf. I'm like, oh, that's really weird, but
Yeah.
like I guess. But then the box art isn't jousting.
No, it's not at all. They have a cardinal mistake here, which is instead of making the villain look scary, they make him look terrified.
I feel bad for this
He's
guy.
like, no, don't kill me, no.
It's another 2-pound game.
Yep. Totally rad.
Yeah.
Oh,
Probably
man.
the most 80s name for a game ever.
Yeah.
But I like how, like, I don't know, what the game is called Totally Rad. What does that mean? What is the game? Whereas Skateboard Joust, you think would tell you something about what the gameplay's
Sure,
like.
right.
What does
This
Totally Rad tell you?
communicates absolutely nothing to you about anything.
It didn't need to. That's the crazy part. They're just like, look, it's a dinosaur and a name.
Is it a platformer? Who knows?
I don't know.
Who
I have
cares?
no- it doesn't matter.
The dinosaur has a mohawk.
Yeah.
So that's,
So you know
you
he's-
might think he's cool.
He's rad.
It's got lots of squiggly
Why
lines
is it
around
like?
here.
What's this house he's trying to climb into with
Yeah.
with squiggly wallpaper?
Yeah.
I don't know. I dig it.
They add,
Look at-
there's like this Aztec symbol on the letters up
And
here.
in a wave.
Yeah.
Ship it.
It's good. Jalico.
Oh, dude, you found some good ones.
This is awesome.
Look at the stone cold emotionless stare this woman is giving us.
She's seen some man.
She's never coming back from whatever it
yeah,
is she's
whatever
seen.
she saw, like it changed her.
Also very emotionless, this guy here.
Wait. Where are they? What's above them? Is that like an
a
electric
laser.
Like, yeah. Are they like in some sort of death trap?
yeah.
Something?
Well, and then there's this like police tape over
Yeah.
here, like do not cross.
Vice Project Doom.
From Sammy.
Neither of them are giving a shit about whatever they're seeing, whatever
Yes,
their
I don't know.
situation is.
She will stare into your soul.
That's really good.
I mean, because this doesn't even read bad 80s movie. This reads bad 80s movie that like was dubbed from overseas and was filmed in somebody's backyard.
Yeah, this is like a movie made in like Turkey.
Yeah, totally.
And then I only added this in here to point out, we looked at Iron Sword, Wizard and Warriors 2 earlier, and like the original box art is awesome.
This is
incredible.
awesome.
And you said you thought it was Rare. This one's also Acclaim, but I think that Rare has some involvement in it.
Yeah, Rare had some involvement. But this is a game that young Brian Altano in the 80s saw this on the shelf and was like, yes,
Yeah.
this is cool. I need this. And I
Yeah.
went home and I was not disappointed.
Yeah.
The game delivered this.
But that's the crazy thing that if you're a kid today, reading IGN, growing up on video games, you're younger, like this is all you got.
Yeah.
And like maybe you were getting Gauntlet and you were like, yes, or maybe you were just getting like a pile of garbage.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was all just based on this.
You had this and hearsay from friends, and your
Yeah.
friend could be an idiot. What does he know? Oh,
Sure.
Wizards and Warriors is garbage. You're like, all right, well, I will never play that then.
I like the guy swinging the double axe from like out of frame.
It's
like,
awesome.
Like into the frame.
Well, it
of the
doesn't look like
painting.
he's anywhere near our hero.
No.
Yeah, the colors are awesome too. Like this uses like the full palette. I really
there's like
that.
purple on the sky.
I know,
That's really
it's,
cool.
It's
Yeah.
really, really cool.
I like that. Anyway, that concludes our look at totally radical 80s video game box art. I miss it.
I miss it too.
Today's box art is just like a guy, look. It's like think of Bioshock Infinite, right?
Yeah.
He's just got the gun over his shoulder. He's just
Yep.
looking sort of solemn.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like these
Kind of like the Vice Project
Yeah.
box art, actually. This is basically the 80s version of Bioshock Infinite right here.
Yeah, pretty much.
box arts back then were so aggressive.
Yeah.
Like with just things exploding at you and guns and guys firing guns and screaming and like if you look at it now, like they have all these rules for like Call of Duty and Battlefield. It has to be a man standing with his gun pointed down and it
Yeah.
can't be two. Like look at this.
It's the best.
Yeah.
We need to bring that back.
I think you're right. We gotta go back.
All right, I'm Damon. Thank you to Justin and Brian for joining me today. Viewers, for everything video games, past, present, and future, stay tuned to IGN.